Dumelang batswana ko gae ke alamogela mo thulaganyo ya rona ya Mama Talk Show with Jessica. All you know, ya Mama Talk Show, it's all about sharing the journey of a young mother. So today we are doing something different. We're gonna interview a special person, and this person is a child who was born by a young mother. She'll be here sharing her journey as a child being born by a once young mother. So let's take this time to welcome her on our show.
Hello, my name is now Jessica, but most people call me Jessica. I was invited by Jessica to be in the Young Mothers Talk show because I was actually raised by a young mother. So I wanted to share my experience with the current young mothers about how it is to be a young mother from a child's perspective. So thank you.
Jessica, what a beautiful name. That one name is very beautiful, Jessica. You know. Well, we welcome you. So I believe this will change most of our lives as young mothers. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to hear your journey as a child being raised by a young mother. Yeah. So take this time and elaborate us about your journey as a child.
Once again, thank you, Jessica. I would say being raised by a child, Tata is a child, right? So being raised by a teen mom has had a lot of difficult times, but it also has had a positive impact on me. Okay. My mom had me when she was almost 17. Okay. So it meant a lot of things that other kids had, I didn't get. Okay. So growing up, my mom had to leave me at my grandmother's, but there were other kids there. Okay. You know, it wasn't a bad state, just that she had to work so many jobs just to feed me and to make sure that I get clothes. But the disadvantage of that was I didn't get to see her a lot, you get. Now, the other thing about being raised by a young mom, you have to understand that you're being raised by a child. So the way people are going to talk to you, or the way people expect you to act, the grandma or the people around your mother are protecting your mom. You get? I get it. So as a child, sometimes people don't initiate you into things because they feel like, okay, the person who's actually enduring a lot is your mother, not you. Yet they forget that people around you are talking.
The society.
The society keeps talking. So even if people don't engage with you in certain things, people around you in the society are going to talk next to you because you're a kid, right? So people are just going to say whatever they want without think of the repercussions of that. As kids, we tend to remember a lot of things, especially bad things. So when people talk, I'll remember what you said about my mother. And I will know from there, without my mother even telling me, that there's a difference between me and other kids just because society has already said that to me. So the journey, I would say, has been very interesting and very hard. But when you have people around you that love you, it's easy to get over a lot of things.
Okay. How do you remember, or how do you know? But at what age do you remember? Do you remember those journeys, those taunts, all of that?
I would say when I was 5, only difference. The way people spoke to us. There were times when people would ask my mom if I was his sister. You know, that awkward thing. When you're a child, sometimes you see things and you don't really. Until you're older. When I was older, I was like, oh,
I remember.
So that's why people are acting this way, you know. But when you're 5, you just see those things and it's nothing. But when you're older and you're in primary, that's when you're like, oh, okay.
Every
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I also, one story I always tell my friend is when my mom used to come and collect reports, I always thought people's grandmas were the ones who were coming to collect the report because my mom was young. So I was like, okay, people are actually bringing their grandmothers to collect reports, not the
I get
so there also, I think I noticed the difference without realizing that there's a difference between me and other kids.
Yeah,
you see, because other people's parents were older, like they was close to my grandmother's age. Then my mom was younger, so it was always funny that way. And even when she came to collect my reports, the teachers would also ask her if she's my sister. And I'd be like, okay, why?
Yeah, I know the situation. I can imagine.
So it's always been a thing of why? But then you brush it off, oh, okay, my mom looks young, but doesn't really sink in that, oh, my mom is actually young.
So how was the relationship between you and the mother?
It was, I would say it was there, but also it wasn't there. You get? I remember my mom's telling me that I used to not like speak a lot. I used to be very quiet. Like I loved my space more than being around people. So even when she came around, I would sit next to her, but I wouldn't really talk much. And I knew her, the other parents or like the family members, the grown-ups, were talking to her and they would have these conversations and whatnot. So it was difficult. It was also difficult to have a good relationship with her because she lived far from me. I didn't live with her. I lived with my grandma. So it wasn't like a thingy.
It wasn't
where
that
we are
close,
besties. Yeah. But now, I think now we've really built a really good relationship.
Wow.
But it took years. It took years because one, you wouldn't understand when your mom has to go and work in different places just to feed you, right? So you get used to being around your grandmother a lot.
Yeah.
And that's now I'm more close to my grandmother than my mom.
Than the mother.
And it's one thing that I always emphasize to any mother. If you know that your child, if you know that your job or anything is going to require you to be away from your kid, any chance you get to be with your child, utilize it. Because that child is going to have a deeper bond with the person they've been staying with.
Very true.
You get? So now we're building a really good relationship at this age. And we get to appreciate her. Okay, I can't go back and we play small games. I can't go back to those times. They've already passed. Yeah. But now
we are building a new relationship.
Yeah. And I have siblings too now. So, you know, my second sibling, my first, is it the one who follows me?
Yeah.
He's actually 17 years younger than me.
Okay.
So, one thing I always appreciate about my mother is after she had me, she didn't go and, have another pregnancy immediately after me. She realized that, okay, she did a mistake and it's heavy and this child needs you to feed her, to clothe her and So now you have to work hard to really raise this kid. So she took her time until now she planned another child. And it was 17 years after me.
Yeah, that's long. That's long. She took her time.
She took her time. And then the last born was actually 23 years after me.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, I called her second born because to me
yeah, they're like your child.
So yeah. So I'm always grateful. Like I feel like a lot of people can learn from her. She saw that she made a mistake. She took responsibility for her mistake. She waited until she now could plan for her other kids.
She fought a good fight.
She did.
Yeah. So how did all this affect you emotionally, mentally?
I think emotionally, mentally, I couldn't survive. Because one, I did live with my grandma, right? And we lived with other cousins. And you could see, I think when we were growing up, we all thought we were my grandma's kids. Because we were living with her and it was so fun, and was the way our parents spoke to us or interacted with us was different from our grandmother. Yeah, she was more free with us, but for them it was more intense. I don't know if it's because of the stress of having to raise us. But emotionally it was it was painful because I didn't get, like I said, I didn't get most of the things. Yeah, and I also didn't get most of the things that kids got.
Yeah.
Till now, I've never had a birthday. But I always had a cake on my birthday. But that thing of knowing, okay, a lot of people, because in the street I lived in, they always did those things.
Birthday parties and all that.
Even my cousins had birthdays, and I have never had one. And you could see the difference.
You always wish to have one.
Exactly. I don't even know how to ride a bike now because I didn't get to have that. Oh, I don't even know how to swim. Like a lot of things that I could have been taught as a child, or I could have interacted with her as a child. I've never got to do
so
because of, she was a child. She didn't know how to raise a child, and she now has to grow up and financially raise this kid. You see, so it was really painful, but you couldn't say anything.
Yeah,
you just had to keep quiet. And even if you did say something, my grandma would always say, think of your mother. Your mother's going through so much pain. So now both of you are going through so much pain, but because of her pain, you couldn't say anything. So I think even now some people are doing that. But I would advise people to not do that. If a child is telling you they feel 1, 2, 3, or their heart is painful, listen. Both parents, at that point, both the kid and the parent are in so much pain. And both their pains are valid.
And both of them need each other.
So if you just brush off the child's pain, it leads to more than just tantrums.
Very true.
Imagine walking into your house, because I used to have like really bad thoughts. I wanted to go, like I was tired, but the only thing that kept me going was I really want to live my life. You see, I want to succeed. I wanted to break generational curses, and I wanted to be the first of everything. And I also wanted to break the whole having a child as a child thing, and I did that. You see, but it took everything from me. Like mentally, I was exhausted. I felt like I've already disappointed myself. Even though I haven't started anything, I still felt like I'm a disappointment. You get, there's no one who can really say, hey, I'm in pain because of 1, 2, 3. And also when you get, because I used to be bullied a lot. When I was bullied, there was no one I could really run to. My mom wasn't around.
She wasn't there.
And my grandma had, like, she already had her a full plate with us.
Plus she's old.
So it was a thing of, okay, let me just
It was you alone.
Yeah, the bullying got worse, but because I was raised with boys, the boys had this thing of, so you're not going to fight for yourself. You're not going to, you know how embarrassing it is. So I had to fight physically, but mentally I was still drowning. But physically,
you could fight.
I could fight. Like, you do something to me, I'm coming for you. Verbal abuse, I'm coming for you. Let's not come for each other. But mentally, I feel like mentally, people don't know that the fight is deeper than any other fight. Even now, like there are times when I think of some things when I was a kid, I'm like, that could have been dealt with.
But I could have done this.
I could have done this. Sometimes you get stuck in the past of, I could have done this.
Yeah.
You see? So mentally that's draining. And I'm an overthinker. Yeah. Sometimes I make up my mind before something happens or before I actually go and ask someone about it. So being an overthinker as a child also, you can have a lot of negative thoughts. A lot of negative, because everything you see is negative. You overthink the smallest thing.
And at that moment, that's the moment you will your mother, to be close to your mother so that you can share what you are feeling or what's going through your mind.
Yeah, but I couldn't do that.
Couldn't
do that. She lived far. And I think also because we didn't, like I said, we didn't have that bond. I couldn't call her and say, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is happening, or say, hey, can we talk, Gaha? But I think she's always been open, just that because we didn't have that, I didn't know how she would react if I said something, Because she was still, she's my mother, but she was also a stranger. But she was also my mom.
Yeah.
You know.
Ish. I get that.
So you see, so that also, that detachment from your mom is something that's really heavy. Yeah.
Just to state that, okay, but so that they build that strong bond with that child, so that they don't forget them.
Yeah.
What advice can you give them out there?
I think one thing young moms should be aware of is whatever is happening to you, your kid probably felt it. They probably know about it before you even said it, because of the society, and you know, just family members. So if your child is saying something to you, you might think, but they're actually trying to show you what my aunt or uncle or our next door neighbor said a few things about you. Maybe you took it as a joke, or you took it as, it's ngwana or bana ngwana o tla reng, mara o retse ngwana wa gago thata le gone ngwana ka go boela gore batho ba go gore o ka go boela ile gore ba lo mo life ya go ke bo mang. And also, if you, because I know a lot of young moms struggle, job finding is a lot, but as much as you are going through a lot, your child is probably going through worse, because they need your support, but the person that's supposed to support them is overwhelmed. They can't tell you, my mom, I'm going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because ba bona na le stress. Mama ile go buang gore mama go na le stress, se mo tshwenye mama go ba bana. Don't also let people around you limit your child, or maybe cut off access with you and your kid. You must have more access to your kid than anyone else. If your child wants to tell you something and people tell them to go away, na stress, then you've already killed your attachment. You are killing your access to your kid. So no matter what problems you're going through, just breathe and listen to your child.
Thank you, Jessica. That was beautiful. Remopile Jessica for her word of encouragement from her journey. We have learned a lot. But from me, what I've picked from her, we should build a very strong relationship with our kids, because they need us and we need each other. The mother and the child, we need each other. Mentally, we are going through a lot. So, let's build that strong relationship. She has said a lot. That was from us, Young Mama Talk Show. My name is Jessica. They call me Queen Jess. Don't forget to like our page, Young Mama Talk Show with Jessica. Contact us on our WhatsApp number 777-243-91. Thank you, Jessica. It was nice having you in our show. Okay. Bye.